The best top expert tips and hacks to make your life better. LifeHakx. Technology, business, multimedia, wellness and health, events, reviews, and more. This is Mary Collins from LifeHakx Media, and I have the pleasure of having Gary Banford on LifeHakx today. Hi, Gary. How are you?
Hi, how you doing, Mary?
I'm great, thank you. I'm working from home, and I see that you're at home as well in Scotland,
Yes.
where the weather is always beautiful and lovely. So anyway, I'm just going to give the audience a little bit of an introduction about you. Gary Banford is an R.A.F serviceman who has recently been diagnosed with stage 4 esophageal cancer. He is supported by his wife, Selena, a police officer, and has children, Ben, 15, and Alexi, 12. He has set up a Facebook page which live streams fitness challenges shared with friends and followers on Facebook, as well as a YouTube channel to get people moving. You're not a stranger to fitness challenges. I mean, in the past, you've actually done more for charity. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I tend to put my body on the line annually, at least once annually, in some kind of fitness challenge. And I've done it for a number of years, but the most significant one was in 2016, where I cycled 1,000 kilometres on an old bike across South Australia, all off-road, on a really old bike with no suspension, in my kilt. And that was for another cancer charity, because my dad, unfortunately, had been diagnosed with exactly the same cancer that I've been diagnosed. So I did it for Macmillan Cancer Research back in the day, and managed to, I think it was about £4,500 I raised during that one. But annually I run up mountains, or I do CrossFit challenges, or any other kind of challenge that's always got a fitness base to it. And I can make some money for charity out of it, and then that's what I'll do.
Well, and speaking of which, now you are trying to raise money for a charity that is close to your heart. Can you tell us a little bit more about that charity? Yeah,
it's Abby's Sparkle Foundation, which was started by young Abby Main as a 15-year-old girl. She was diagnosed with cancer, and she did this at that young age. Unfortunately, she died 3 years ago, but her legacy lives on. Her mum and dad got in touch with me early doors after my diagnosis through friends of friends, and offered me a holiday in their luxury holiday apartment that they've got in the Scottish Highlands, and offered it to me and my family for a week, which blew us away. So we took it a week in this holiday apartment, and I'd already started my fitness challenge to myself and to others. But whilst I was there, I just thought, this is fantastic. And I just thought this was a great, small, local charity that I would do something with my fitness challenge for them. And I set out a mere target of £2,000. And lo and behold, I achieved that target within the first 2 weeks.
Wow. Wonderful.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So I very quickly readjusted my target, and I thought, well, let's get giddy with this. And I reset my target to £25,000. And I'm less than £1,000 from achieving that target now.
Wonderful.
So yeah, Abby's Sparkle is a great foundation, and I'll continue to support it even after I've met the target. I will continue to support it.
Okay, wonderful. And we will put our link up on LifeHakx to that charity as well, and with information as well, of course, your bio and all of your information. So speaking of hard work, you've been in the military for a very long time. And have you always found the motivation to be fit because of that?
Yeah, I've been a sportsman my entire life. And I've been in the R.A.F for 31 years of that. And what the Royal Air Force have done for me is instill, not just in your sporting background, be it rugby, football, or general fitness, is how much fitness can give you back in life terms. So yeah, they've been a big inspiration, and they've kept me going throughout my entire career.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they've always motivated me on those days where there's been a slump,
Right.
to get back to and maintain my fitness. There was one or two ways I could attack it. It was one, let the cancer take control and be in charge, or I could do that myself and be in charge, and by staying fit. And once I've started, all the doctors have told me that what I've done is the best way to fight the cancer is to stay fit, and in that it keeps me mentally fit as well.
Why work harder when you can work smarter and live better? LifeHakx. And so when it comes to the effects of finding out about your condition, I mean, how did you feel when that actually, I mean, did you sort of sense that what was happening, or?
Yeah, although I was only diagnosed in May 2020, it was the middle to late 2019 that I started noticing differences in my body, and when I was eating, and certain things. I put it back to prior knowledge. I'd watched my dad. He went over 2 years of being diagnosed with, before he was diagnosed with exactly the same cancer as I'm now suffering from. I started noticing symptoms, mild symptoms myself, what we noted in my dad all those years ago, 2014, 2015. And things started to align, bells started to tinkle. And so I should have gone earlier, but I kind of put myself off and said, no, it's not that, it's not that, it's not that. But when I went to the doctor initially, I just basically said, I think I've got cancer, and I think it's esophageal. And he very quickly told me, no, you haven't. We'll give you some tests. It's this, this, and this. Or it could be this, this, and this. And they put me on a 3-month waiting list before I could get even my first scans done. And to that, I emailed them back and said, no, I have cancer. And I have cancer for these reasons. And I bullet pointed, I think it was 9 different reasons why I thought I had cancer. And on the strength of that, I was seen within 2 weeks. And a week later, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer.
My goodness. So that might be one of the very first hacks as we enter a new year. If you feel that something is wrong, I mean, they say don't Google, don't research, but you had actual previous experience. And a lot of us have experience about what's going on in our family history. If you see a pattern, don't just take no for an answer. Find the points that you need to make, be very clear, even write it down and really bring it into the meeting with the doctor, or email them or whatever, and make sure that you get seen. What in you has made you decide to fight instead of crumble or give up?
I think that's quite well put. Crumble, give up, and believe me, I've had stages. Crumble, give up. I come across those two things almost daily. I think it was something instilled to me by my father, and when he went through his diagnosis and his treatment, he was diagnosed terminal and given 3 months to live. He ended up going through 6 months of chemotherapy, of which he almost worked as much as he could in a shipbuilding yard during his chemotherapy at the age of 70.
Wow.
He retired and then went back to work, and then he fought a good battle for 3 years.
Wow.
So I've taken a lot from him and his fight. So I took all that in, and very quickly said to my wife, I says, well, it's not terminal. I've fought everything my entire life. So, and my wife's been my driving force. She's held me on the road that dictates how we go about fighting this. So I've just used everything. I've used my fitness, and don't get me wrong, there has been days, extended days, where I've been on my hands and knees and just begged my wife to let me go through this, not through the cancer, but through the side effects of the chemotherapy and all the drugs that I'm taking. I think I'm taking more drugs to fight the side effects than I am actually taking to fight the cancer.
Yeah.
But I just thought I need to, for my children, I want to see my daughter get married. I want to see them go to university or join the Air Force or join the police force, follow my wife's footsteps, follow my footsteps, or do better than us and go to university and be better than us. And the only way I can see those things, be those things, is by fighting. And so it's my children and my wife are my fuel to fight.
Well, I have to tell you right now, and I think everyone would agree that your children they already have so much to look up to. I mean, the fact that your father and you, and it sounds like your whole family are supportive, strong fighters who mean a lot to the community. And I think that's what you surpass. I mean, whether they go to university or they become, policemen or R.A.F or whatever, them having your genetics to fight and to be hardworking and to be wonderful, wonderful people. They've already won the battle. They've already climbed the mountain in the sense that they've got you as a wonderful moral compass. So that's just my 2 pence.
It's the least I can do for them.
Well, it's a wonderful job that you are doing and what you're doing to motivate the community. The fact that you have raised money by crossing Australia in a kilt, I just have to repeat that. That in itself is just hilarious and uncomfortable sounding and and wonderful. And we will post his wonderful picture in this gorgeous kilt that he's wearing for this journey. I can't even imagine the sores you had after that journey. But how did you, actually you said earlier how you got involved with Abby's Sparkle Foundation. What's it like now planning your schedule? Because you have so much on your plate between the chemotherapy, checkups, charity, family, etc. Tell us what would your life hacks be for planning around things like this?
Planning, to be brutally honest, there's not a lot of planning goes into it. I'm rolling from day to day. I know of my schedule for chemotherapy. It's quite an extensive. It's 4 weeks out of every 6. I'm in chemotherapy.
Oh.
And the 2 are. It's an accepted part of my life at the moment that the 2 to 3 days, maybe 4 days, post every chemo session just wipes me out through one being it's a 2.5-hour drive to get to my chemotherapy.
Wow.
My chemotherapy is generally I'm in the hospital for 4 to 7 hours, depending on what week it is.
Wow.
And then a 2.5-hour journey home again. So I'm tired, to say the least, and the chemicals beat me up a bit. So some days I'm fine. Other weeks it just wipes me out totally. So I can't really plan for those weeks. And as I say, it's 4 weeks out of every 6.
Yeah.
So I end up adapting daily to what I wake up to what my body wakes up to in both side effects, physically and mentally. And to be honest, the last month I haven't posted very many videos and I haven't done very much fitness either because I've been on a mental roller coaster of ups and downs. And I just thought maybe over Christmas, New Year, COVID restrictions, how everybody was in the UK were built up to having a bit of a Christmas get-together to it getting taken away. I just thought over the last month, people have had so much thrown at them through everything else. I've left it alone for a month.
Yeah.
But my videos are starting today again. And in the planning, actually, Abby's Sparkle Foundation and the fitness I started letting it rule my life.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do this for other people. I had to do it for the
Mm-hmm.
charity and the fundraising. And it was almost doing things for the reverse of why I started doing things, is what I was doing. But I was more started to look after other people than look after myself.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm still fundraising. I'm still going to get everybody else fit, but I need to refocus it back onto my fitness for my fight against this cancer. And that's what I'm doing. As of today, I'm back into fighting for me, and everybody else is welcome on the journey.
Wonderful. Well, that's an excellent beginning to a LifeHakx, which is, take it, first of all, day by day, right? If someone is struggling with whether it be mental health or physical health or emotional, do take it day by day. But sometimes you do need the motivation to get up and do it. Find something. If it's not for yourself, find someone else, find a charity, find a cause, get up and walk the dog. It's because the dog needs you or whatever the case may be. And at the same time, if you find yourself pushing too much and it's costing your health, then you need to know when to back off and change the focus. It's okay to change the focus, but have a focus of some sort, I guess is the main point. Okay.
Life hacks.
So when it comes to your fitness, I'm sure that I guess it depends on your strength and everything, but what would some of the top hacks would you say to get into sort of a fitness? Do you say that on your YouTube channel? Do you sort of say, let's start with repetitions of 10 or breathing exercises? What kind of stuff do you sort of tell people to motivate themselves first thing when they get up in the morning or before they go to bed? What's the best advice?
So firstly, when I started doing the online videos and fitness, it was I started because I turned 50 last year, which was 3 days before my initial scans and diagnosis. I missed my first 50th birthday celebrations because of COVID, all that, and then I had this diagnosis, and I basically just said, I'm going to do 50 reps of a given exercise every day. 50 reps for my 50 years, and I get to do a different exercise every day, and I'm going to invite people to join in with me. And the very first post got 19,500 views.
Wow, excellent.
Which absolutely blew me away. And that was the first thing that I thought, I could do something with this, getting other people to get fit. And that was all it was. It was just, we're just going to do 50 reps. We're going to do air squats, and we're going to do 50. And if we can't do 50, we're going to do 5 sets of 10 or 10 sets of 5. And then given a quick demonstration on how we could do these. And my mother, 75 years old, and some of my uncles around about the same age bracket as my mum, and they started doing it with me.
Wow.
So
wonderful.
I very quickly went, I'm going to give them demonstrations because they can't do full exercise. They can't do full press-ups or full squats. So I started giving them demonstrations, and that's how it started. But for the life hack on motivation to do it is, for me, functional movement. And everybody from baby, newborn, to 75, 80, 85, 90-year-old should be able to move properly. And that doesn't mean lifting a heavy barbell or heavy bags of sand or something. A lot of functional training uses all these different tools to do it. It means being able to move your body in a functional way so that you can bend down and pick a pint of milk out of the bottom of the fridge without your back creaking or your knees groaning or something.
Yeah. And that's why it's so important with LifeHakx that we will be putting up all of Abby Sparkle information, as well as your YouTube channel, so that people can get started with their fitness journey, as well as be motivated to get off their back ends and do something with themselves.
Yeah.
So first of all, to get to Abby's Sparkle, one can go to the UK virginmoneygiving.com fundraising site, and we will put the direct link, but you can also just look it up yourself, guys. It's just Gary Banford, and it will come up for his charity. On Twitter, you are at Gary_Banford, Instagram, Gary_Banford, and Facebook, Gary Banford. And on the YouTube channel, it's Gary's Fight Against Cancer. So all of these links will be up on LifeHakx.com. We will keep following your great cause, and you have been a very, gosh, I'm so emotional over this actually, but you have been an absolute motivational, inspirational, a beam of light for the start of this year that we go into, most of us not knowing what's next, and a little bit depressed and feeling sorry for ourselves. And you show us what it means to fight back and to take back. I actually started the new year dressed up as a pirate because I was like, I'm going to be Buccaneer ready for 2021. I'm going in with a fight. And I think you've actually, you're showing us, and you're telling us how we can actually approach this pandemic and this new year with a sense of strength. Fight for yourself, fight for your family, fight for your community, and just get started somewhere. So thank you so much, Gary. It's been a pleasure.
No, thank you very much. Thank you.
The best top expert tips and hacks to make your life better. LifeHakx. Technology, business, multimedia, wellness and health, events, reviews, and more. LifeHakx.